You know, it's been a long time since I've had this much fun. My sentiments exactly. Representative Mac Jackson, would you open us with prayer, please, sir? Yeah, we need it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Father, in the name of Jesus, we just come before you today thanking you for allowing us to come to this point where we're at the last day of this session, Lord. Because of your grace and your mercy, Father, we're here. And we ask for your blessing now. Bless the chairman, bless the speaker, bless all the members in this house, Father, because only you and you know how to do that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay, thank you. We're probably going to put on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 10 bills. Ms. Lewis, when someone comes in, would you tell them to make it short? Okay, we have some bills that have not been presented yet, so we will start now with H.R. 11, Representative Cantrell. Okay, you have H.R. 11. You got about 30 seconds. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Study committee to look at workforce development for folks that are here legally but were born outside of the country, to look at any unnecessary regulations or rules that we've put in place that are keeping them from being able to find meaningful employment. And we just want to study that issue and bring back a recommendation.
Okay. Any questions from anyone? Seeing none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Dempsey, do you want to do H.R. 52? It doesn't, just push a button and.
Yes, H.R. 52. I believe we heard it previously as a joint study committee, but
Could you hold on 1 second?
Yes.
It's substitute, and the LC number is 338784S.
That is correct. Yes,
Okay.
sir. So it is a study committee just a House study committee to look at childhood lead exposure and the powerful effects of that. In the most part, they are irreversible, causing really serious lifelong problems. It's just standard study committee. I believe there are 5 members, and also includes an appointee or the Commissioner of Public Health.
And I understand Dr. Toomey wants this one.
Dr. Toomey, who has done so much for all of us, really does want this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Any questions from anyone? All right, seeing none. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, is Representative Anderson outside? He has H.R. 222. Morning, sir, or afternoon, sir, or
yes,
evening,
yes,
whatever
sir.
it is.
One of those, yes, sir.
So you have H.R. 222.
Yes, sir, I do. House Resolution 222 basically calls for a study committee on annexation and cityhood, with a primary focus on dispute resolution for annexation and the parameters around cityhood and city expansion.
Okay, I see any questions? Seeing none. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Representative Ehrhart, and she sure looks a whole lot better than the other one we used to have to look at. And that's H.R. 427.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, members of the committee, chairman, and members of the committee. I bring before you S.R. 427, which would establish a study committee to examine the mandatory membership requirement of the State Bar of Georgia and whether it would advance public policy and transparency and allow meaningful citizen engagement in the administration of justice to require the mandatory fees and monies collected by the taxpayers of the State Bar of Georgia be deposited into the general treasury of this state for annual appropriation by the General Assembly. I appreciate your consideration.
Do I hear any questions from any other members? Okay, well, thank you, ma'am. All right, I think that's all the guests we're going to have. The rest of these are committee members. Oh, and by the way, before we get started too much, we have gotten everyone a pen, if I can get this thing out of here. And it says Rules Committee member. And when you walk out of the room, Ms. Lewis will hand you one. We decided not to give it to you when you came in here because invariably somebody will lose one. And it comes in this nice little case. You can keep that, but it's an appreciation for all y'all have done. Y'all have been a fantastic Rules Committee. Even Bruce got here on time. Okay. Senate Bill 20, Chairman Ballinger.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the opportunity to present how the Senate Bill 20 adds 3 members to the Child Advocacy Oversight Group, an appointee from the Speaker, an appointee from the Lieutenant Governor, and an appointee from the Governor.
Okay. Any questions for the sponsor? All right. Seeing none, thank you. Okay, we're going to start with the next person that's probably killed half the trees in Georgia today or this week. Senate Bill 46, Rule Substitute LC 338835S. Whip Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do appreciate the introduction there. I wanted.
Well, I know that you also, like Leader Burns, are a big supporter of the forestry industry.
I did want to make clear that the leader wasn't the only one who supports the great timber industry in Georgia, and I've tried to do my part today. I bring before you substitute to Senate Bill 46. It's LC 338835S. We've previously discussed that this measure had 2 other important House measures added to it previously. That's House Bill 275, which is helping get firefighters trained to be EMTs, and then also House Bill 450, which deals with the cannabis research and making sure that's tracked. So those are still in here. We had heard some concerns in regards to to some privacy concerns raised in the original Senate Bill 46. We're all here trying to strike an appropriate balance during this pandemic of respecting privacy, personal liberty, but also making sure that we're doing what we can to keep Georgians safe. And so in Section 8 of the bill is where we made the changes there, and I'll explain those as follows. First, there had been some concern as to whether we were changing the way consent was given for information to be shared regarding vaccines in Georgia. That was never the intent of this measure, and just to be clear, we allowed that language that originally was in the code to stay there without inserting new language. We wanted to make clear that, so that changes at line 267. Second, there were some concerns about what a third-party group would mean and who that information could be shared with. This has and always was the intention to only share this information with the CDC for purposes of allowing us to continue to receive Georgia's allotment of the COVID-19 vaccine. If we're not able to share this data with the CDC, they have expressly made clear that Georgia's allotment of the vaccine could go from being 8th in the country to the 50th, and we certainly don't want that to happen. So on line 260 to 266, we make clear that the only information gets shared in regards to this is through a data use agreement with the United States Department of Health and Human Services and its subsidiaries, and that's the CDC. So that's where we've tightened up that language. The final concern we heard on this measure was would there be an ability for individuals to opt out? There is. We want individuals to get this vaccine. We want to continue to fight this COVID-19 virus, but we do understand that people may still have some privacy concerns even after everything that we've done here to try and address those. For those individuals who simply do not want their information shared at all with the CDC, there's a clear opt-out provision in this legislation that begins on line 268 and 269 where that language is. Those are the changes to the bill. Mr. Chairman, we really have tried to strike a good balance here, and I think we have done that, and I certainly appreciate Chair Lady Cooper, who's carrying this bill in the House, for being patient with me and working with me on this today, as well as the Department of Public Health.
Okay, do we have any, Mr. Chairman, Transportation?
I just want to thank the whip for the work he did on this and this language, and I appreciate your diligence in making these changes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Williamson.
I want to echo Chairman Jasper's comments to the whip, and I want to also just make double clear for those in the general public that might be watching these proceedings that the new lines 264 through 266 state so long as the United States Department of Health and Human Services and its subsidiaries adhere to state and federal privacy laws, and so long as a person's name is not provided by the department. So is it not true that the name of any individual that chooses not to opt out, their name is not shared with anybody?
They are sharing some what they call identifying information, but right now that is just the location of the county they're in, the birth date, maybe which arm they got the vaccine in. But we made clear that at no point in any part of the process will the name be shared with the CDC, whether it's opted in or opted out. Thank you for that question.
Okay, see no more questions. Oh. Chair Lady Taylor.
Does this still include the information for pharmacists to be giving these vaccines?
Yes, I work closely with the pharmacist group on this as well. Nothing has changed in regards to that.
Nothing changed in that?
No, ma'am.
And it sounds like the things that were intended to begin with are still in there. Are they worded differently, or we've just left them in?
The goal of what needed to be accomplished is still getting accomplished in this bill, but I would say it's being done in a more narrowly drawn circumstance that respects the privacy of citizens of Georgia who choose to get this vaccine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman Setzler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To the gentleman, I know there's been a lot of discussion about the opt-out provisions. Two questions about those. Opt-out provisions during emergency circumstances and opt-out provisions during normal circumstances. I just want to make sure it applies to both. It's overarching. Okay.
There's always been an opt-out provision in every circumstance. But we're making clear on line 268 and 269, any person or person's parent or guardian, if the person is 18 years of age or younger, may request an exemption from enrollment in the statewide vaccine registry, and there's no qualifier for that only being in an emergency.
Second follow-up question to the gentleman. Appreciate that. Now, that matters to my constituents. And I would just say parenthetically, it's not about privacy that some other person's going to get the information. A lot of folks are just concerned that the government has it. I mean, it's privacy that the governments can't create registries that can then be used and leveraged against citizens. So it's not just a matter of the government losing it. I appreciate those provisions, but to speak for folks I've heard from, well-informed people, the privacy concerns also about government having access to this. This is a delicate balance, and I appreciate the gentleman's attention to it.
I appreciate that. We certainly did try to strike the appropriate balance there. And one thing, from the beginning when we first heard this measure in this committee, we felt like some information would be okay, but in no circumstances do we want the name of the individual, whether they opt out or not, to be used. And that exemption from the name is found on line 265.
Chair Lady Taylor.
Thank you. Just another quick follow-up. The information, is this only what's given from the health department, or do private physicians or clinics that are dispersing and providing these, everybody turns in the information?
anyone who is administering the vaccine. Yes,
So
ma'am.
if you go to your pharmacy and they give you the vaccine, they're going to turn it in too.
That's correct, because we want to be able to track the effectiveness. We want to be able to track if there were any side effects. We want to be able to track how many citizens of our state are getting vaccinated, so that we can plan and prepare for future steps in the as we're dealing with this public health emergency.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Lady Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. But if you opt out and you fill out the form and send it in and opt out, they go in and they will clear out all the information on you and what you've had before and all, and they encrypt it some way where any information coming from anybody else won't be put in from you to your account.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Whip Kelly, you have Senate Bill 156, Rules Substitute, LC number 364861S.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I bring before you Senate Bill 156, which originally created the Office of the Chief Labor Officer under the Commission of Labor. This is a position that we had funded in the budget, and I think we'll still see that funded when we come back, but it's someone who's going to help us get information, help keep the financial records and the duties of the Commission of Labor straight. We saw a troubling audit report today in terms of maybe the accuracy and the ability to audit that department. And so we certainly want the Chief Labor Officer to be there to help us do that. It's important for our bond rating. And we've had that bill come out of this committee before. But we've in talking with individuals regarding the Department of Labor, and speaking with the minority party, I appreciate the minority whip and I having the opportunity to work with this. We felt like we still need some ability to collect and get reports from the Department of Labor as terms of how claims are getting processed and how when we reach out on behalf of our constituents, numerous inquiries I know that I've had, and I'm not unique in that regard. We're just having trouble getting information as to where the claims and how claims are getting processed. And so we included some language originally in House Bill 583 that was authored by the minority whip, and we've included that as well. I think we took a good bill and we made it even better. And that's something that I think will ultimately help us better serve our constituents in terms of seeing their claims with the Department of Labor being processed.
Okay, I don't see any other questions.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's go on to the next one. Senate Bill 164, Rule Substitute, LC 338827S. LC 338827S. Whip Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Senate Bill 164 that Chair Lady Cooper presented that deals with HIV update. But it also included language from House Bill 601, which is an important measure that will help citizens of our state who need treatment through Epidiolex, which are a form of cannabidiol that have been approved by the FDA, and it will help them get access to that medication. And unfortunately, the Senate has not wanted to move on that measure to help us take care of sick Georgians, and so we're putting it in this very important measure as well. That is found in Section 4.
Okay, that was Senate Bill 164, LC 338827S. See no questions. Thank you, sir. All right. Senate Bill 256, Rule Substitute, LC 338836S. Chair Lady Cooper.
Which one?
256.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a bill that was coming under quite a bit of discussion about how the health directors are appointed. And I know there was some concern from the cities and so forth that their commissioners would not have input into the selection of the chief medical officers for different districts across our state. What this does is that every county that is in a health district, and some of them have as many as 15 counties, would elect, their board would elect to send one person to a meeting, and then they would vote on the person that was being presented to be the chief medical officer, and the person that won by the most vote, I mean, that person, if approved by majority, would become the chief medical officer. Right? One person from each county. So if there were 15 counties, each county board of health would elect one person from the county, and they would send that person. So if there were 15 counties, there would be 15 people, and majority vote to approve or disapprove.
All right, any questions for the lady? Okay, Chairman Hawkins.
Well, this isn't a question. This is very important. We have area 1-2, which is Dalton, doesn't even have a director at this point. And so thank the chair lady for bringing this bill.
No, the reason for that is because the way it has been is that if there were 15 counties and one county said no, then that district person couldn't be hired even if 14 other counties wanted them. So this makes it a more democratic process where the majority will rule, but they will all have input.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. Anybody got their hand right? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. All right, let's see. Senate Bill 174. Chairman Fleming.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senate Bill 174 came out of the Senate, which is basically a cleanup of sorts of the unsecured judicial release bill that we passed last year. It does a couple of things. It makes clear that an appointed judge filling an elected judge vacancy is in the definition of a judge that this deals with. It also adds 4 items: burglary, stalking, family violence, and auto theft to the list in regards to unsecured judicial release.
Okay. Anyone have a question for the gentleman? All right. Seeing none. All right. 142 is out. Okay. Senate Bill 142, Rules Substitute 364863S. LC 364863S. Chairman Stevens, I understand you're presenting that. There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the sports betting bill. We now have 25 states that are doing sports betting. We have 17 more that have filed legislation to follow. So what the bill does, from the previous version, there's a change on page 9, which just adds one sentence that has to do with right-sizing our lottery reserve over a period of years, which should free up about $600 million to go to pre-K and to Hope scholarships. And all this does, if you'll see the underlying language, any amount so drawn may count for the purposes of appropriations in subparagraph A of this paragraph. Again, this is going to right-size, free up some money that we're continuing to accumulate in our Hope Reserve. And no one under 21 years of age can bet on a game. No one that participates can open a charge account. You cannot use your charge card. And ladies and gentlemen, you are doing this right now in the state to the tune of $2.3 billion.
Okay, do I have any questions for the gentleman? Okay, seeing none, thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at these rules substitute, and we'll get them out of the way as far as either a pass or a fail. HR 52, do I hear a move? A move and a second, it passed. SB 46, Rule Subs LC 338835S. Do I hear a move? Got a move and second, it passed. Senate Bill 156, Rule Substitute LC 364861S. Do I hear a move? Got a move and second, it passed. Senate Bill 164, Rule Substitute LC 338827S. Do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it passed. Senate Bill 256, Rule Substitute LC 338836S. Do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it passed. Senate Bill 142, Rule Substitute LC 364863S. Do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it passed. Okay, now we're going to take about
The chair recognizes Representative Gravely for a motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that
You think we're running late? Okay. We've got, is that 120? Okay. We have a rule substitute for Senate Bill 120. No, excuse me, it's not a substitute. Okay. Okay, everyone has been handed. Okay, y'all hold on a second. We need to get out and get into session. Everyone's been handed a substitute for 120. It's just passed out of judiciary. They offer the following substitute, and Chairman Elstration will present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 120 has been stripped and replaced with much of the language that was brought by the State Ethics Commission, their request for the ethics bill this year. The Senate Rules Committee also had a provision which they put in, which is included in this draft. This legislation is important to the State Ethics Commission. Would ask the committee for its favorable consideration.
Okay, anyone have a question about this particular bill, 120? Just came out of judiciary yesterday, I think. Okay. All right, we'll see you none. Okay, I guess now it's time to set the calendar. All right, y'all, hold on. Here we go. HR 11, I hear a move. It's on. HR 52, Rule Substitute LC 338784S, I hear a move. Got a move and a second, it's on. HR 222, do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it's on. HR 427, do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it's on. Senate Bill 20, do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it's on. Senate Bill 46, Rule Substitute LC 338835S, do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it's on. Senate Bill 156, Rule Substitute LC 364861S, do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it's on. Senate Bill 164, Rule Substitute LC 338827S, do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it's on. Gosh. 164. All right, Senate Bill 256, Rule Substitute LC 338836S, do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it's on. Senate Bill 142, LC Rule Substitute 364863S, do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it's on. Senate Bill 174, do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it's on. Senate Bill 120, do I hear a move? Got a move and a second, it's on. Let's run through them one more time quickly. HR 11, HR 52, have I rule substitute, HR 222, H.R. 427, SB 20, SB 46, a rule substitute, SB 156, rule sub, SB 164, rule sub, SB 256, rule sub, SB 142, rule sub, Senate Bill 174, and Senate Bill 120. That's the new supplemental. Hold on one second. Chairman Smyrie, push your button. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, on Senate Bill 142, what method is it coming out under? Will it be open, modified?
Modified structure.
So in order for anything for it to be amended,
It'd have to be done in here,
in the Rules
and
Committee.
it had to be on the floor for an hour.
Is there any way for it to be open?
No, sir. Okay, that's the calendar for the first supplemental calendar. Don't forget, when you pass by Miss Lewis, let her hand you your pen. Thank you.